Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, everybody?
How's everyone?
it going?
Everybody doing well?
Yeah.
You know.
Mostly.
Mostly well.
Yeah.
You know, now that we got all the problems out of the way, ish.
Yes.
Well, our problems. If you are in Texas, please be safe. Don't be crazy face. Don't do anything stupid. Stay alive.
But that's how I live.
Grif's
my
words
life
of
every
wisdom.
Yeah. I think people would know that by now.
So, well, what games has everybody been playing this week?
I finished Resident Evil 7. I enjoyed it.
I will try to finish it later.
I enjoyed it. Once you get to like the last 25% of the game, everything starts making sense. Like the first half, a little bit further, you're just like, why the fuck am I here? What does this have to do with the Resident Evil universe? And when you start getting towards the end, you're like, oh, that's what it do. Okay, it makes sense now. They wrapped it into the universe pretty well. It's pretty good. The last boss fight, like I've read before, it's very underwhelming. So that was not.
That is a trap that a lot of games fall into. Is like, we made you play this whole game. Maybe our players would really like to just take it easy on the last one because they fought so hard to get here. It's like, no, we want to feel like we accomplished something in the end, guys.
Man, almost all the other Resident Evil games, the last boss was a bitch, and then you'd like end up with a rocket launcher or a magnum or something to finish them off. I mean, the Resident Evil 5 last boss fight was Wesker chasing you around in the dark with his fucking
Man,
magnum.
he was a bitch.
Oh, he'd be like, hey, I see you,
to be
bitch.
fair, I mean, it's kind of hard to top Wesker as a last boss.
That's true.
That is very true. I mean,
It's true.
especially
So it
when he
fits
takes
into the
down
universe quite well then?
Yes. It's a
Even
nice...
though there wasn't Wesker.
Yeah, there was no Wesker. But if you know the history and the lore in the Resident Evil universe, and you read the papers and whatnot and all of that, you start putting pieces together, and you're like, oh, this is what they were doing. So this is what this is supposed to be. Okay, and that's what these are supposed to be. Okay, everything makes sense now.
I just want to know how it ties into a bunch of backwater rednecks. Like, I don't know. No spoilers for me because I haven't finished it, so I don't know what's going on. But I just want to know how it all ties into a bunch of rednecks.
It fits in really fucking well. Like, there's a scene where you're just like, okay, I didn't see that left hook coming out of nowhere. Okay, and it fits. Everything fits. Capcom did a fantastic job of making everything fit together well instead of just, meh. We'll just forget about them.
Threw the T-virus into some moonshine and gave it to some rednecks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I would believe that.
Okay, so now that you've played a first-person Resident Evil game, do you want third-person back, or do you want this to be do you want to stay with first-person? What do you want to do?
Get rid of the VR aspect of it and make it longer. I want to, it was good, for sure. The atmosphere, the enemies, everything was pretty good. I do have to say, at a certain point, it became so fucking easy. Some of the enemies, because
I can't wait to get to that point.
It's first person, and I have the shotgun with widespread. So at certain point throughout the game, I'd have the shotgun, and I'd let the enemies walk up to me. I'd put up my arms to guard, they'd hit me, and then I'd just take the shotgun and blow their face off, and then walk away. It's like, oh, what's up? And then you'd get surrounded by like 3 of them, and you're like, boom, boom, boom. All right, let's just go ahead and keep going. The monsters lost their scariness after a while. Granted, I've played a lot of Resident Evil, so I know how to handle that shit. It's like, oh, they're surrounding me. I'm going to sit in this corner and pull them in and just clear them out pretty easily. So,
at least it doesn't have the giant spiders like in the first couple of Resident Evils.
No.
She just cringed.
No giant spiders, but there are certain enemies that
I am still waiting for
similar.
alligators, okay? You're in Louisiana and it's swampy. There's motherfucking alligators and I fucking know it. Or
Too
crocodiles,
funny.
whichever one, or Louisiana.
Alligators, crocodiles would be
I was right.
Australia.
Well, I know they're there, so I'm just waiting.
Yeah, so I finished
Wanted
that,
to
really
pop up.
good. And I restarted again and just started running through it. Like,
yeah, because isn't there an achievement or something?
Yeah,
you can do it in 4 hours.
Unlimited ammo for all your weapons if you beat it in under 4 hours. So I was like, all right, I know everything. I know the jump scares. I know all that bullshit. So I just literally started booking it. I was like, not scared at all, not scared at all. Run it through. Go ahead, grab that.
Yeah, but something happened in that second playthrough that didn't happen in your first one that was weird because you got your leg chopped off.
Okay, so the first playthrough, I avoided the big bad, and, you know, he didn't catch me. I made it through. But in this one, I was trying to move too fast, and I didn't manage to lose him, and he caught me. He did enough damage. Since it's basically the beginning to teach you the mechanics, he catches you, knocks you down, and takes his shovel and chops your fucking leg off.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, shit, well, I'm dead. I'm going to have to restart. And he walks, like, it doesn't restart. He walks to the door, sets down a first aid thing, and he's like, come on, boy. Come get it. Fix yourself up. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you could, like, crawl and pick up your leg and crawl towards him, and then you pick up the first aid thing, and he puts his leg on his nub and then pours it on the leg, and he's like, wow, that shouldn't have happened, and it stands back up. What the fuck?
That's
Video
funny
games.
though, because they basically just made fun of themselves. That's
Yes.
awesome.
That's Resident Evil though. Those little comic moments are golden, because I stood back up and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He chopped my leg off and taunted me. I picked up my own leg and glued it back together.
Hey, I picked up my own hand earlier in the game, okay?
Can you wiggle your toes?
I have no idea.
He's wearing shoes.
Or is it just like, hey, we're going to take the dead stump and glue it on there and run with it that way?
Wait, how do they actually... Did your pants come back? You're wearing pants, right?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I tried to look down at my leg and I could only see my foot. I was like, oh, my pants are torn up now. God damn it.
Really bad shit happening, but worried about where the pants are. Like, how damaged are those? That's important.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to look like a homeless person when you finally get to the cops.
I know, right?
Right.
Running around
They
with
won't
like,
believe you.
what happened to your pants? Don't ask. I had to glue my leg back
Why's your
on.
foot black? I had to glue it back on.
Why is it backwards? Because I don't know how it works.
It was just golden how he said it too. He's like, wow, that shouldn't happen. I was like, no shit, that shouldn't happen. What the hell is in this? Like magic heal me everything?
That shouldn't happen. No. No.
What else? What else?
I played a little Heroes with Baka and Red, some PUBg, and a little bit of WoW.
Woo!
Kept
You've been
myself
busy.
entertained. Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to play
Lots of
games.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, that's about all I've played this week. I kept myself
What you,
busy.
Baka? What have you been doing?
PUBG. I got my first chicken dinner.
Yay!
Yay!
Congrats!
And mine was legit, well, almost legit killing someone. Kind of.
Almost legit.
Hey,
I like how I had to backtrack
A
that.
half-ass, better than chickens.
Hey,
better
it's
than
not.
Oh.
Hey, I still got mine before you. I didn't have to do any of the work. I just manipulated them to kill themselves.
Oh, yeah, you definitely did that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I landed in the shooting range. I went, like, the only thing I could find when I went into the bunker, and the other bunker west of it was, like, a car, a scope. I found some armor, and I think maybe some bandages. Like, basically, I couldn't find really much of anything. The best weapon I had was the car and the scope. I ran to the city, found a level 3 helmet, a few more bandages, energy drinks, pills, and it just kept closing in around me because, like, I went way off course of what the airplane went. I was like, I'm going to go way off over here, and no one's going to be following me. But as the circle started closing in up in my area, everyone started kind of moving in and killing each other. I went and hit up on the hill across the shooting range, and there was two guys like shooting each other back and forth. So like every time they would like pop out, I kept popping them to make them think the other person was doing it.
Wow. Nice. That's pretty good tactic, actually, now that I think about it. Because it means that they don't know you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kept moving into
Good
the
thinking.
circle. There was a little shed where the circle was moving in. One person was hiding like on the outside of it behind the barrels. And one of the guys that, you know, I kept popping, I picked up a M14 off of them. Picked up some ammo for it, put it on auto, and then kept just running up and taking pot shots of the dude hiding behind the barrels. And didn't hit him as I was going up, but I went on the other side of the shack, and he was on the opposite side, and he started moving around on on where the barrels were. So I stood up and just unloaded a clip into him. The circle was closing in on us even more, and he started backing up. He went on the outside of the circle as it was closing in, and took way too much damage from it and died, and I got the chicken dinner.
Yay!
So I didn't get the killing blow on him, but I unloaded on him.
You tried. As opposed to chicken who hid.
Hey, I scared the one dude that was outside because he was running towards it, and I shot him a couple of times, and he ran back out of it. So he was getting delayed to run back in. So
now, are you both playing in first person, or are you playing in third? What do you do?
Third.
The first feels weird to me.
It does. It's very weird.
Yeah.
What another thing on that is when they're bringing cross-platform, because they want to bring cross-platform from Xbox to PC, and more than likely Xbox will be first-person. Rumors are they may add aim assist, because otherwise
you're playing against mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, Xbox is gonna be. But if they bring aim assist to it, then PC is gonna get fucked hard, because I mean, someone way away, you just aim at them and you get a target at them and you can pop them from distance.
I think aim assist should only work if they are within a certain distance of you.
But still, even then, I mean, they run up on you and you get free aim assist help on shooting them.
Yeah, but you still have to be able to have some semblance of accuracy. It's not like aim assist gives you homing bullets.
That's true. But I think they should just keep them separate. Either, because I mean, one way or another, you're going to make it unfair for one side.
I would see that.
So let Xbox players fight and PC players fight.
Well, everything they're showing for Xbox right now, from Gamescom and stuff this past week, is third person.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say they're probably going to offer both. You can go into first person or third.
It'd be like GTA, where you can pick.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see if they end up combining those two. Because if they do, I don't disagree with that. Like, how do you handle? What's the good medium? Give somebody a chance one direction or the other, and what's that in between. So, guess we'll see. Because there's some people that are really good with controllers.
Ooh, yeah,
really good.
I mean, I do okay in Overwatch playing with my controller versus a bunch of people playing on PC with their mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, but we play a lot of quick play. If you throw yourself into competitive, you will get
that's true.
Competitively beaten. I mean, I'm good and I get beaten, and those people
play competitive because I get mean.
Those people are on a different level.
I
know better. I know my limits. In competitive play, I'm too competitive.
Yeah.
That is why quick play has to be life for me, or else nobody has a good time.
Yeah.
We hear the rage of Grif, and we're just like, oh my god, please, let's just.
At least I know I'm not that guy that's like, why don't you guys want to play competitive play with me? I don't understand.
True that.
I mean, at least I understand.
Because you suck, Bob.
Because you're not fun to play with, motherfucker.
Well, what
I'm
about
still
you?
taping my desk together from the last time you fucking raged.
I have actually I had started in really close to the end of Hellblade, and I was actually going to play it today, but I had a bad headache. But I did manage to finish Uncharted Lost Legacy. Which
you finished it already?
Oh yeah,
short-ish.
Yeah, it's 6 hours, but it's only $30 too, so that's why. Originally it was a
gotcha.
A little bit to make its own entity, which is really well done. Like Chloe and Nadine, they work well together. I wouldn't have thought these two would have worked well together. There's a little bit of surprise about midway through that I wasn't expecting. That kind of gives you that little bit of plot twist and things. So that part of it was pretty cool. I'm very interested to see where they take this. Is this going to be our next group? Are they going to follow one and the other one's going to be able to join, or what they end up doing with it? But it was really well done. They did something that was a little bit different because it was more open world. You don't feel like you're on rails the whole time trying to go through an area. So you're in there's a part of Uncharted 4, those that have played it, to where you're in a Jeep and you're able to drive around in open world. It's that same feeling. You're in a Jeep and you're able to drive around in the jungles, and you're in India. And it's got a really cool feeling, and there's a lot of good dialogue between the two of them. A couple of which at the expense of Nathan Drake. It's quite funny. And you go through, and they did something that I thought was pretty neat. Instead of, Nathan always has his book, and that's what helps him go through and try to solve all the issues, all the problems and stuff that they're trying to come up with. What they did differently is they created a map, and on the map, if you got a clue, it would give you an idea of where it was at on the map, so then you had an idea of where to go. And it would show your truck or your Jeep where you were at on the map, and then you just have to kind of guide around that way. And I went ahead and did this thing where you have these little medallions, like 11 medallions that you can find. And I went ahead and found the 11 medallions, which unlock this bracelet, and the bracelet helps you find all the treasures. Like you go in
and it's a collectible finder.
Yeah, so you go through and you hear ding come out of your controller, and I was like, what the hell? And then you hear this buzzing sound, right? And it glows, and you're like, okay, so there's a treasure nearby, and you pick up the treasure and go through that. I thought that was pretty neat. That was well done. And then the plot line itself, if you just go through without trying to get the collectible thing, it's probably a 4-hour campaign.
That's so short.
Yeah, well, it was originally a DLC, and it feels like it was originally a DLC. Because of how short it was, but I would be okay if they did this more often. Like, just created a little $30 game and go in and play, and then every once in a while created a larger game.
At least they didn't go, hey, here's
bigger characters.
Give us $60, and you get a.
Oh, you mean like Metal Gear did?
Yeah.
With Phantom Pain, yeah.
So,
or
but it
something that I was able to beat in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yep. I think it took me 60 minutes to get through. Was it 0 or whatever it was? So.
Well, to be fair, I spent quite a bit of that time like completely doing random shit to knock out guards.
Got to be creative.
You were entertaining yourself because you knew the game wasn't going to do it.
But it was fun. I definitely recommend it to anybody that's played the Uncharted series. It's very refreshing on how you're not dealing with Nathan, which is, I say dealing, that almost sounds negative because I love Nathan. Yeah, I love Nathan. But it's different, and the girls are badass, and it's funny.
I want to try it out, but neither one of those ladies endeared themselves to me in their games.
I would try it out because I think, like, Nadine, I didn't expect to like. I never cared for Nadine.
Well,
it didn't make sense.
She didn't do anything in 4 that was like, oh, actually, you're not so bad. It's like, no, you're just a loner bitch. Got it.
Yeah, and so they do a good job of making you like her, I think.
Well,
and I think
have to work
and you've always had an issue with Chloe. I think because it really follows their friendship. Well, I guess work relationship, not really friendship, growing into a friendship. And then it follows, part of the plot line is tied to Chloe. And so...
I know it's supposed to be a personal thing for her. Yeah,
and they did a really good job of tying that in and making you feel for her based on, how it's written in and how it plays out. But it's cool, too. They've got, like... camera points where she pulls out her phone and takes shots, and I took I think 19 pictures or something, and there's 28 places that you could take pictures. I was kind of mad because I was like, no, because it prompts you when you get to one of those areas, and then you can flip through them later. But there's some really, really, really cool design artwork and stuff that they've done with the game, so definitely recommend it. For $30, it's not so bad. It might be one of those wait on it and wait until it drops to 20 and grab it. In my case, I grabbed it, downloaded it because it had already sold out at the local gaming store here.
Just put it on my GameFly queue and rent it.
Yeah,
that's probably a good idea.
Probably
a good idea. Yep.
because I just spent this week finishing Uncharted 4, which
Yay.
was good.
Finally.
There was, like, usually I can pick out a handful of things from games where I'm like, I didn't really care about this, or I didn't, this wasn't done to this standard. I think they could have done it. There's only, like, 1 or 2 things in this one, and I'm trying to think if any of it counts as... I guess there could be some Uncharted spoilers. Uncharted 4, if you haven't played it yet, give me about 10 minutes and then come back. But they introduced this. It's something that other games have done that I don't care for every time they do it, which is, here's a flashback. Here's a mechanic that you had in the flashback that you didn't use in any of the subsequent games, which were, like, basically in the timeline chronologically after this flashback, so you would have had this skill, but you just never used it no matter how fucking helpful it would have been until you get to this point where we're back into the present. And it's like, you can't do that. It's fine if you're advancing gameplay and you put in a mechanic, hey, we just picked this up and figured out how it worked, but you can't say you already knew this and then refuse to use it for like 10 years and then decided to use it again.
Maybe he thought it would make it too easy. He wanted a little bit higher difficulty.
Well, it's a whip. Early in Uncharted 4, you're in a flashback where you're a kid with your older brother Sam, and he's got this, like, I guess it's a rope with a grappling hook more than it is a whip.
Yeah,
but it makes the whip noise. Yeah, so whatever. But you can, like, latch it onto things and swing across. And how many times in the previous 3 Uncharted games would that have been so fucking helpful? Like, how many times?
He just forgot to buy one.
That same mechanic, by the way, that same mechanic's in Lost Legacy. And I thought the same thing when I was going through, because you and I had this discussion the other day, and I'm thinking of going, so now Chloe knows how to do this?
Yeah.
But
this would have been so helpful.
They do play up a good bit, too, because... Nadine evidently has a reputation of not being much of an adventurer. She's more of the soldier type, right?
A mercenary.
Yeah.
The leader of a mercenary band.
Yeah, so that soldier type person that she is, she doesn't, like, swinging from ropes and stuff like that is not something that would normally be part of her. And it's really cool to kind of see that character develop a little bit with the banter and stuff that goes back and forth between her and Chloe. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I just don't like it when games do that, where they're like, oh yeah, this really cool thing that you just remembered after a decade. Yeah, thanks. So that was kind of a bummer that we didn't have that in the first 3. And then my other qualm with it was, and this is where it gets real spoilery if you haven't played it yet, but you start out the game, and it's the same thing they did with Uncharted 2, where you start out the game in the middle of the game, and then see that, and then you go back to the start and go from there, and then eventually you'll reach that point again and go, okay, this is where it fits. You start out on a boat in the middle of a storm with your brother Sam, and this is obviously news to us because, oh my god, Nathan Drake has a brother? What? I guess at the time you don't know it's his brother, he is some dude named Sam. Whatever. You have flashbacks. Like, you go to the present, and then you have flashbacks to when he's a kid, so that you learn that this is his brother. You have another flashback when they're a little bit older, and Nathan watches Sam die, or so he thinks. That moment lost so much impact because you know he's alive in present, because they showed you at the start of the game that he is with you already. So that whole moment of, that you should be able to feel with Drake going, no, my brother just fucking died. I am crushed. You're like, oh, he's fine. He comes back somehow because we've seen him. Like, it just lost all of the impact of killing him off at that point. It was just... I don't know. I get really attached to stories in emotional ways, and I feel like that deflated the emotion of that moment for me. It's like, I get why Nathan's crushed, but I don't feel it because I know as a player that he's alive. It's kind of like showing your hand before you, place your bets. So... that was really 2 major qualms. That, and as much as I love Troy Baker, as much as I love him, occasionally he dropped his accent on, like, words that he had already said with an accent. I'm like, how did nobody catch this? Does just, like, Troy is so prolific and such a nice dude that nobody wanted to be like, hey, Mr. Baker, can we do that one again because... But... That's just nitpicky, and I will let it go because it didn't change the tone of the game or anything. It's just because I'm an audio person.
Yeah, it's because of your audio background that bothered you. Like, it did not bother me at all playing it.
It didn't bother me, but every once in a while I'm like, wait a minute, why is that different? And then it's like, oh, okay, it's because the voice actor just dropped the accent for a moment. And should for some ungodly reason this ever get back to Troy, I'm super sorry. You're super awesome and I love you. However, none of us are perfect. And I do not love you any less
she hates
for that.
you. She tells you every episode she talks about how much she hates you. Make sure that you go to start at episode number 1, Mr. Baker, and go ahead and listen to the entire thing. Well, and you can hear how many times she's...
I love him and I respect him as an actor and he does a wonderful job. It's just because of me and how sensitive I am to audio things. I was like, oh, look at that. Okay, shut up and keep playing. But overall, it was really enjoyable. There were a couple of times that I teared up, and I told Chicken like halfway through, I was like, I am so mad at Nathan right now. I swear if they break up Nathan and Elena, I will go to Naughty Dog and start punching folks. Because they're my favorite video game couple, and I think it's because it reminds me kind of us, me and Chicken, in some respects. However, if it was me and Chicken, and this is a life lesson for everybody who is listening, pick out a life partner that you can share everything with, because if you hide things from them, it's only going to be bad for you. Like, Chicken and I don't hide shit from each other. I will tell him everything. And if he was in Nathan's position and is like, oh shit, I've just been propositioned to go find this treasure, I should lie to my wife about it so I don't get in trouble. No. He would have been like, hey, this is what I'm going to go do, and you should probably come with me. And I would have been like, hells yes. And I think Elena would have too. She would have been like, let's get our guns and go. I mean... Oh,
yeah, but not everybody is as awesome as me, though. Come on. Or as awesome as you.
Thank you.
I pointed at Baka. Sorry, not him. They're over there.
I see how it is. I see. Baka's more important to you than me.
No,
well, I play video games with him. Of course, I'm his gaming buddy.
Yeah, well, that's true. But it was really enjoyable. I had a good time playing it. And I will put the...
Lost Legacy.
Thank you. I was like, Legacy. Lost Legacy on our Gamefly queue, and I will play it at some point. But this one was super enjoyable. And now I have to finish Resident Evil 5. So.
7.
I said 5, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You're a couple behind there.
Yep.
Resident Evil 7.
I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, that's the wrong number, isn't it? 7. I'll finish Resident Evil 7 soon-ish.
Come on now.
It takes me longer than it takes you, okay? You're good at that kind of gameplay. I'm not.
It's first person. Come on.
Yeah, but it's
first
person.
But it's also
like,
terrifying, and she can only play horror games.
That's not just that it's terrifying. It's the game, the fights take a lot of patience, and I don't have as much patience as you have.
Like I said, all you gotta do, well, once you get further on the game, all you gotta do is be like, sup bitches, block, boom, peace.
I just have to get to that point.
The game loses all sense of fear after the first playthrough, by the way. Like, the first time you're all tense and whatnot. The second time you're just like, you're there, you're there. I know how to run around and block. It's no worries.
I'm still waiting on the alligators.
I'm going to go with, not with Grif.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like,
with
all the Resident Evil games. I mean, like, the first, second one, once you go through and beat it once, you're like, okay, there's a zombie around the corner. Okay, blast, you're dead.
I will say, I feel like with this one, I probably will be able, I think it will lose that little bit of scariness to it, because I already know, I know that there's so long that you go without actually having to do anything.
Yeah.
Other games like Silent Hill and stuff like that for some reason that always has that tension to me, and I don't know why, especially with something like Downpour where all of the monsters are pre-generated in specific places, but it's still scary to me. But I don't know if Resident Evil will have that in a second playthrough. Maybe. Well, this Resident Evil. Yeah. There have been other ones where you're just scared of the big snake head thingies. You pop their head off, and then the little wavy thing comes out and tries to get you.
How's that go again?
Yeah,
little wavy thing.
Little wavy thing.
Well, it is. It looks like they have a big mutant arm for a head, and it waves and tries to hit you.
He just wants to high five you, bro.
No high fives for you. None.
Shotgun.
All right. Shotgun high fives?
Yes.
The best kind, obviously.
Shotgun is the #1 answer to zombies, I have learned. And mutants and everything else.
It's the #1 answer to any problem.
Shotgun. You have problems, I have shotgun.
Shotguns and explosives, that's all you need.
Well, you think about how much in Halo multiplayer you looked for the shotgun.
And then people called you a bitch for using it, and it's like, I'm sorry that you're just mad that you walked around that corner unexpecting a blast to the face, and I was waiting. I am super sorry.
Don't be sorry. They're the one dead.
Your map's better.
I'll take a hammer over the shotgun.
Yeah, but that hammer doesn't serve you well if you're like flying through the window opening in Guardian and somebody's sitting right around that corner with a shotgun. They shoot you in the back before you even know they're there. Done that many times.
That's why you just swing it around the corner and, expect someone to be there always.
Yeah, but even you drop your guard that easily. We have dropped our guard in PUBg for that exact reason. Oh, there's nobody here. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, fuck, there was somebody there.
Doors are closed. It's safe. Nope.
You guys want to talk about some news stuff? What do you want to talk about?
Some news stuff.
Looks like you've got 3 things of Overwatch.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to talk about all the Overwatch stuff from this week?
Or Blizzard stuff?
Mercy's going to be OP as shit.
Mercy's broken as fuck.
They changed Mercy. Her ultimate used to be the 5-man res. Now she can res one person at a time, just on like a 30-second cooldown, I think it is.
Yep, 30-second cooldown.
Which, I don't know about that. They also made her pistol work like Diva's, where she doesn't ever have to reload.
No,
so she just runs around.
That's during Valkyrie.
Oh, is that during her Valkyrie? Or,
Diva
her
doesn't
mech
have to reload.
Sorry, Baka. That's what I meant.
Yeah, her mech doesn't have to reload, but that's during Valkyrie. Basically, the only thing they changed is she got a new ultimate, and her res is now a single target, 30-second cooldown.
Her Valkyrie though boosts her healing and her damage streams,
and gives it to everybody who's connected to the stream.
Yeah, it spans out.
Yeah, and
if you're close enough.
Infinite ammo and higher damage and higher fire rate on her pistol, and she can fly, and it resets the cooldown on her res, and it gives her a 10-second cooldown on her res, and she could jump further and fly faster with her left shift ability, where she can fly 2 people. Yeah.
Chicken showed me a video like either the day of the change or the day
PvE,
after.
on the PvE.
Okay, on the PvE, where a Mercy got, I think, did she get power boosted by Ana or no?
Yes.
Okay, she got power boosted by Ana and then killed the entire other team herself.
Yeah,
wow.
She Valkyried, and the problem is she could just fly. Like, there's no way to get away from her. She'll just go right over top of everybody. She took a Diva one-on-one with her pistol and just destroyed her mech and then killed her.
Yep.
Killed a Reinhardt by himself. Basically,
she's so broken right now.
Yeah, I mean, Genji can't even run away from her. She just fucking flies and follows his ass. Shroom, and she just flies right over with him. Yep. There's nothing you can do about it. She'd just kill your ass.
They're gonna have to do some serious balancing to make her okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they got rid of the pistol thing, fine, good. You just removed her entire offensive capabilities, and you made her more on the support role. But man, when she whips out that pistol during Valkyrie, you're like, oh god, please save me, my
She goes
Mercy.
From your support role to your main damage role.
Yeah, she goes from support to let me go ahead and carry you guys.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Mercy's had enough and just unloading on fucking everyone.
Yeah, she's gotten tired of being the healer that gets left to die. She's like, fuck this shit. I'll just kill everybody.
Turns around with the pistol to her own team. Who the fuck needs healing now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mercy rage. Sounds like me. They also released 2 shorts. One was the short for May's backstory, which I cried. I did.
Oh, the May video was absolutely, no pun intended,
I haven't watched
amazing.
that one yet. I did watch the Hearthstone one though.
Spoiler, you're gonna cry.
Oh, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, for 10 minutes, Blizzard's like, here's 10 minutes. Okay, we will go straight to your emotional center and stab at it until there are just tears coming from your eyes, whether you know why or not. That's what Blizzard does in 10 minutes. It takes
Everybody
movies
loves May.
like 2 hours to get to that point. Blizzard's 10 minutes. Yeah, so that was really, I watched that one and then immediately went and watched basically they did a short for the new map, Junkertown, which is where Junkrat and Roadhog are from, and it was hilarious.
Oh,
so
God,
watch them in that order, so cry
it's like
and then
watching
laugh.
a Looney Tunes short.
Yes, it is. Can I light it now?
So good.
Yay!
The joy on Junkrat's face when he gets to light the fuse.
I think that's a little more than joy, and I'm surprised that Blizzard designed it like that.
I like that he was so worried about Roadhog screwing it up the whole time.
Yeah, but you knew how that was going to play out based on those two.
Yeah.
You knew how that was going to go.
Yep. Wait, what did he say at the end? You're an idiot.
Like, one of the only things that you hear Roadhog say the whole time is, you're an idiot.
Yep. Oh my god. Blizzard
Best
makes
friends
some
for life, though.
damn fine cinematics. Like, oh my god. Give me a
love that
fucking
company.
movie. Something.
Give me a movie. I don't know if we can survive it. If in 10 minutes they can crush you emotionally, I don't know if we want to sit through 2 hours of that.
But the counter of that would be the Hearthstone animated short where they did a Disney musical for
which
Hearthstone.
was. I mean, the last one that I watched for Hearthstone was the Karajan one, which was also a musical and fucking hilarious. Blizzard just knocks it out of the park with everything.
Yeah, I mean, that animated short for Hearthstone was pretty good. I mean, it was just kind of like you said, a Disney version of Hearthstone, where it was fun for everybody and singing and la 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 and all that stuff.
And la la la, I like it.
Hearthstone.
Well, that's all the Blizzard stuff for the most part. I mean, they did a lot of stuff at Gamescom, and they're going to do BlizzCon here shortly, so we'll be seeing more from them.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
Everybody's still got their fingers crossed for that Diablo 2 remaster.
Oh, please. Or Diablo 4 that's more like Diablo 2.
We'll see. What else you guys want to talk about? What catches your fancy today?
The Darkwood thing.
Okay, go ahead.
It's been on my I've been following it and it's been on my wish list. I'm pretty sure it's on my wish list.
On Steam, right?
Yeah, on Steam for a little while now. I saw it a few months back and it looked pretty interesting. It's a top-down horror survival-esque kind of game. It's really neat and I like the aspect. I like that concept of playing, top-down action RPG.
I can't do top-down.
It's fine. Some people can, some people can't. But it came out, and it has gotten good reviews. Like, it's very positive. People have enjoyed it. It's a very, very well-made indie game. Pure indie game, by the way. Only 3 people made this.
Right.
In 4 years, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And it started as a tower defense game. Mm-hmm. And that they were going to make in a month. And the scale just kind of kept getting a little away from them. And here we are 3 or 4 years later. And here it is. Fucking well done, polished, everything. Fantastic game. Then they went on to Imager and posted that, their story about how they made the game and what they've gone through to it. And they announced that they were going to give it away for free. They were going to let people pirate it for free. Which is
crazy.
What it says right here. People claim to be YouTubers or bloggers and ask for a Steam key. And the studio, they're very generous, so they gave everybody free keys. And unfortunately, those people go behind their back and sell the keys on key reselling platforms, which everybody could take a guess at which those are. So they don't know how to counteract that entirely because they don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. So they're basically giving everybody permission to pirate their game. If you like it and you guys really enjoy it, then you can always buy the game for yourself on Steam or something. So it's very interesting.
That's a risky move. That's like high risk, high reward.
I mean, I'm trying to look at this from a business standpoint. I like the idea of that they've done this to kind of counteract what they've given away. But wouldn't a more positive thing, okay, you watch the ones that have already, you're like, okay, these are, we've already given these away. We can't do anything about that. But wouldn't you be like, we're not giving any more away unless it's from an official giveaway from us? Or...
True, but they're very, like I said, it's 3 people, and they're trying to build their community. It's a $15 game. Come on. Like, if you actually enjoy it, dropping $15 on a game that you enjoy for a very small indie company so that they can do something else, it's not going to burn your wallet. So...
It's not, but we'll go back to the scamming end of this. Why the hell would you even care about a $15 game's Steam account and trying to sell that? I mean, Steam
because they are completely against reselling keys. Like they hate that. They hate that people can get away with.
Saying, why would you risk doing
as
something
the scammer?
like that?
Why would you even care about a $15?
Because it's something that they think that they can get under the radar. So if you get it for free and sell, like you get 50 of them for free and sell them for $10 a piece,
you're making a lot of money.
$500.
Exactly, and then you basically. You're shitting on their name because you're stealing from them and then reselling it and making the money that they could have. So, and for a nice company like them, they don't want to be taken advantage of, I guess, and this is their nice way of handling it. And it's not the first time that a company has said it's okay to pirate our game. trying to remember.
I can't remember
think
who the last one was.
We
and
had
I know
a discussion about it. Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
discussion about it, and I can't remember who it was. But they said it's okay to pirate the game. It is what it is. People are going to do it regardless. You have our blessing. But if you really enjoy it, please, come and buy our game, for real.
Well, I just put them on my wish list, and as soon as I get $15, I'm buying their game because that's top notch right there.
Exactly. That's how you sell more.
Like
games.
I'm not even really well, I just saw the top down view of it. It's kind of interesting now, but I didn't even really know that much about the game. But I'm definitely going to do it because I think they deserve my $15.
Yeah,
Right.
It looks like a fantastic game. I mean, and for what the kind of company it is, it's 3 folks trying to do their thing. I can get $15 for someone's dream. It's not gonna
Let
hurt
me
me.
just say that that picture for the release trailer thing is creepy as hell.
The shit in the game is creepy as hell. Like, it is one of those really... These guys came up with some fucked up shit for their game. Real messy stuff.
Messy stuff.
Yeah, messy stuff.
Well, that's pretty cool, I will say.
I think the thing that interests me most is, and we've already saw the video on it, but we talked about it a little bit last week from Gamescom that the THQ Nordic was coming out with a kung fu action RPG called Biomutant that had the raccoon with the patch over his eye, and
Yes. Every time I hear the description, it makes me giggle.
yeah,
Open world kung fu action RPG.
and so we've actually seen footage from it, and you ride around in a hand.
I fucking love it.
like-
I fucking love it.
It's like a little tank. It looks like from the Addams Family.
Thing.
Thing?
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would say
was the hairy
I'm
one.
confused.
a little metal hand. And
And it flicks people.
Yeah, you can flick people, or it actually turns into a gun also, which is hilarious to me.
Yes.
It reminds me a lot of Master Hand, where you just go pop, 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 flick, flick.
But I'm really fucking interested in this game because like the gameplay looks really fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. The characters are cute. I mean, there's no other way to describe them. And so I'm interested in this game. So I want to know more about Biomutant. I'm not really sold on the name.
Yeah, the name's kind of, but
Right
the
here,
premise is good.
right here, Grif. Biomutant also features a fully customizable MMO-style character and mutation system. So
I must have completely skipped over that section because I
you
was still
get to
wondering.
completely make your character from
Do we still have
scratch.
to, but
So
here's the
Grif
thing: do we
can-
still have to be the fox, or
I
can
don't.
we?
I don't know.
other-
It says fully customizable, so I'm assuming that there's probably going to be a couple of choices of races to play with. MMO style is more than just one race. Otherwise, you're just
You all look the
RPG.
same.
You're RPG style at that point instead of MMO style. So that is pretty damn neat.
So we just changed it to a post-apocalyptic kung fu MMO style action RPG. Is that what we
Good
did?
God, the
That
title
is
is like if
fucking
the title is
awesome.
more than
Oh,
more
sorry,
words
I
than
forgot
a normal
open world at the
sentence.
beginning of that. Open world post-apocalyptic kung fu MMO style action RPG. There we go.
Good God,
That is awesome. I
make that
need
into
it.
an acronym. Good luck.
Hold on, let's see. OWPAKF MMOARPG.
Yeah.
I think that's more letters than Biomutant itself.
Wow.
Maybe they should just change the name to Oapakak RPG.
No, please don't. Nobody listen to him.
But I think it's a nice break from all the realistic all the realistic games that we're getting and whatnot. It's taking fantasy games like way
Back to
out to
fantasy?
left field.
Well,
I mean,
there used to be a time in video games where like cute furry mascots were the norm.
Crash
for, like,
Bandicoot.
platforming and
Conker's Bad
Crash
Fur Day.
Bandicoot, Sonic the Hedgehog, Acrobat, Gecko.
I don't know that one. Oh, Donkey Kong! Yay, I found one. I was trying to think really
I like
hard.
Spyro. He wasn't really cushy, but he was cartoony.
Spyro was good.
great.
Spyro the Dragon.
And then they ruined it with the fucking Skylanders.
You know what? They ruined
They
everything.
oversaturated it with Skylanders.
Every year you have to go out and buy more, and you have to buy the game and the little portal thing, and
No,
you have to
let's
spend
not.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars to keep up with it. And
And Disney tried to do the same thing, but I don't understand like that particular style of game. I get that you're building a world and you're having fun and putting the characters and stuff in it. But what I don't understand is why we have to have a new version of the game like every year.
Yeah.
Like,
why doesn't it just add on? I guess maybe they're like eventually the file size for the game would be too big to make sense.
Okay, Blizzard's been out for
content.
Blizzard's been out for 13 years, and their game is only 50 gigs right now.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
okay,
if you learn how to compact
Look,
properly and replace files,
well, yeah,
you
but
can
at the
get
same
it
time,
going.
with Blizzard, they're not adding in like being able to swap out characters in the real world, so you're having to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of separate file sets for all of the amiibo, or well, whatever they called them in those. They're amiibo essentially.
Yeah.
For all of that stuff too.
Same technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have the Imagineers. They could have figured out something to work with in there.
They could have imagined something, right?
Exactly. Imagine something.
Yeah, Disney would have done fine with it if they had just like held off on expanding constantly. Like
every couple of years, maybe.
Yeah,
it would have been fine.
Yeah,
and being able to carry stuff
over. They did Disney Infinity, and they went, "Hey, look, we're gonna add Marvel into the mix. So now you got to get 2.0, so you can play with all your Marvel characters." And then they went, "Okay, here's 3.0. Now we're adding in Star Wars. Everyone's been waiting for the Star Wars."
But there's another company doing the same thing. Lego's doing it now with Lego.
Yeah, but I don't think Lego's been releasing
it
like
called?
They released Lego's Dimension, and then they had just keep releasing the figures and stuff. And
yeah,
I have
but
not
I
seen
mean,
them do another game yet.
I wonder if they're going to though. But they do keep releasing a lot.
But even if they did, they're 2 years in, so that would be time for a new one coming up quickly.
Actually, if they were going to do it that way, they would have already released another game by now, because Skylanders and Infinity were releasing them on a yearly basis.
Oh.
See, I didn't realize Skylanders
maybe they just learned from everybody else the annual stuff is bad.
Yes, it is bad. People cannot afford to keep up with an annual thing like that. Like, it just burns out after a while.
Especially if you're charging like $10 to $15 a pop for figures.
Ooh. Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's expensive.
Speaking of an annual franchise, and this isn't in the news. It just happened to be popping up. I was watching some people play through the World War II Call of Duty beta stuff this weekend. And I actually saw a guy in a chat going, "This will be the end of Call of Duty. I can't believe they went back. There's no jetpacks. There's no sliding. There's nothing like that."
Oh my God, shut up, you hipster child.
Holy shit.
I was like, all I mentioned in it was, "I'm sorry, skill doesn't matter?"
No, jetpacks are the only thing that matter.
Well, I'm gonna fight a little bit on the other side. Adding more dimensions into the game, it changes the type of skill. I mean, going back and kind of playing more basic is definitely a little harder. You're basically one-on-one with your enemy. You're looking at him, he's looking at you, and you're fighting on the ground trying to outmaneuver the other person. It's just a different kind of style. People are like, "Oh, I can't move in 3 dimensions now. Oh my God, my life sucks." It's like, just adapt, man. It's all good. You'll be fine. It ain't gonna fucking...
You realize that this is how we actually fight wars, and this is supposed to be a modern military shooter, right?
Exactly. Call of Duty has always been
Halo.
a modern game. Well, yeah.
Call of Duty fucked itself over by making its market think that that's what it was.
I'm gonna go flying around in a jetpack and shooting my enemies. No.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works. Any small children who happen to be listening to this show that play Call of Duty, because that's like 80% of the market, please believe that is not how real military works. Do not think that you are going to join the Army or the Marines and get a jetpack tomorrow.
Well, if they're small children, they're probably not joining the military tomorrow.
They might try.
Not in this country.
Well,
but there's
maybe
some...
if like 2 of them stacked together in a very long uniform.
I don't
Stop
think that's possible.
bad behavior.
Well, they have to go through basic training at very least. If they stayed in the coat the whole time, I'm sure they'd get found out
Okay, if they
eventually.
could stay in a trench coat through basic training, then those kids deserve to be in the military, because they are obviously some very skilled little motherfuckers.
Yeah, no shit. They would be putting into like special squads and whatnot. Where they're
Yeah, they need to be on like the elite teams. These kids obviously know how teamwork works.
Spy kids.
Get out of here. You're fired. What else do you guys want to talk about? Now that we've derailed into children's spies.
The Final Fantasy 15, the Assassin's Creed crossover.
Dude, are you looking forward to that?
No, I haven't. I don't know. Apparently, they have like in-game events and whatnot.
Yeah, they have festivals.
Yeah, and this is the Assassin's Creed festival.
Which is weird that it gets a whole festival that lasts for months. It's like August 29th through January 31st.
I kind of like before you click on the video, the shot that they have right there, the other dude is like looking at the guy in the Assassin's Creed outfit, like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah, but he's wearing a ridiculous outfit too.
Yeah, Noctis is the only one, and that's Noctis, by the way, is the only one, and you're like, well, I guess everybody else is. It's crazy when you pull up the Lestalem and you walk up. Oh, there's a bunch of cars on the road, and a shitload of people in the road, like all over in the festival, and they're all wearing Assassin's Creed outfits. Like it's just a shitload of assassins. You're like, this is the perfect place to blend in.
Everybody looking like you.
And then the horn goes off, and everybody goes around trying to shank each other with like rubber blades.
I stabbed you. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Hey, you have to watch out. People could lose an eye with those blades.
Yeah, we know, don't we?
Yeah.
Red definitely knows firsthand how dangerous those are.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
never let me tinker with things.
Oh, hell no. You don't get that.
You are forbidden.
Yeah.
Hey, Red, check this out.
Oh.
But yes, the Assassin's Creed thing is interesting. You can get the Master Assassin costume for Noctis by acquiring the Dream Egg from the Moogle Chocobo Festival late September. Or before late September. So basically you have to get something now, or well soonish, and then it will benefit you later. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to get a chicken? You should.
Chocobos. Chocobos are awesome.
Chocobo.
You should get the outfit.
I don't know. I always just run around in the same outfit. Armor
because I look like
a
badass. That's what he does. I look like
true.
a badass.
Hell yeah. But
I can't stand the one in Zelda. I don't look like a badass.
Okay, to be fair though, the Zelda outfits all do look, most of them look ridiculous, okay?
I like the Hyrulean shirt, like his normal shirt, and then just a regular, the bandana and whatnot, climb faster.
I got the Twilight outfit and ran around in that.
Oh, God. Well.
Although in the desert you have to run around in the costume for, like, most of the time.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even when you're not going in the city, it's like, you know what? If I'm running around out in the hot desert, this actually makes it to where I don't fucking burn to death.
See? There
so
you
I
go.
have to keep wearing it.
You can just run around naked.
Woo! No, don't be naked.
It's the desert. Who's going to see you?
What else do you guys want to talk about?
EA, the parent company for BioWare, stated that they are not leaving the franchise known as Mass Effect, that they'll go back to it at some point.
Well, the quote was, I see no reason why we shouldn't come back to Mass Effect, which means right now, we have no plans. Obviously, we talked about it last week where they're pretty much shelving it. Mm-hmm. But in the future, sure, why not? After Anthem and the next 3 Dragon Ages, we'll think about it.
I think it'd be sooner.
They're probably going to give it time for everyone, like, you know, the bad memories to go away, and everyone's like, oh yeah, remember Mass Effect? That was a great game. I'm glad they're bringing it back.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda will slowly slip out of memory, and everyone's like, Mass Effect.
See, Andromeda could have been okay if they would have fucking taken their time with it. It's just another really sad showing of why you can't rush games to completion.
Well, this is what you need to do is you need to go, okay, guys, we're going to come back to this, but it's going to be like 7 years. So you have 7 years to work on this. 7 years. We're giving you double the amount of time.
Okay, we get at least one more Dragon Age then, I guess.
Right. That's a huge investment for a game where you just burnt your entire damn fan base.
But you started off in the preliminary stuff and you go, okay, what is our actual plot line going to be? What is our actual dialogue going to do? What do we need, you know... You set all
what are we actually technically capable of doing?
Right.
Please fire the animators who animated the original facial expressions. Thank you.
C-Team can have a good time working on whatever they're going to be doing.
That whole studio has pretty much disappeared.
No, that whole studio got absorbed.
Yeah.
BioWare Montreal is gone. They got absorbed into another part of BioWare.
Well, they got spread out. Like, some of them got let go, and then other ones just got sourced to other places, other BioWare stuff.
Where's the original spot for BioWare? Because they're a Canadian company. It wasn't Montreal. It couldn't have been Montreal, right?
No, it couldn't have. Well, no, I mean, not if that was where their C team was fucking at.
Yeah.
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Oh, Edmonton.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was the BioWare stuff or if that was another company I was thinking of. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that is so catastrophic. I mean, your game was so awful that the whole company of BioWare Montreal just imploded, and everybody either was fired or sent off to somewhere else, and BioWare, they're basically burying it.
I mean, that's what happens when you make a AAA game that right out of the gate has more bugs than it has plotline.
Well, they did the same thing with what was the first Ubisoft game for Assassin's Creed that y'all tried to play?
Unity?
Unity. That was total shit. Yeah, yep. they did the same thing. That company just went boop.
But to be fair, though, Assassin's Creed recovered a lot faster than the Mass Effect franchise is planning to recover. I mean, they were out, like, 2 years later, they had Syndicate, or that might have been the next year. I can't even remember when Syndicate came out.
Yeah, because then after Syndicate, and the next year was Syndicate, and now they took a break.
Well, Syndicate they did better with, and then they said, you know what, after Syndicate, let's give it a break so we can figure out what to do, and then this year we're looking at getting, the next game in the series.
But I think Assassin's Creed separated it, like it doesn't have as much involved, other than the historical part of it, doesn't have as much involved in it as, say, like Mass Effect does. It's not as big of a game, and I think that it's easier to recover from that.
I think it is, but I think that you had 3 games stacked together that were one person's trilogy. Like, we were really attached to Desmond, and then we got rid of him, and nobody gives a shit about what's happening outside the Animus anymore. It's kind of the same idea, but it was a more inconsequential change for Assassin's Creed because the Desmond stuff was not the whole game. It was just a part of the game, and you were able to take the part that people were actually paying attention to, which was the historical part, and move it along without it mattering. But with Mass Effect, you had the original trilogy, got rid of Shepard, and then everybody shat their pants when they found out that it was going to be something in a totally different universe and all of this stuff, because they didn't feel enough tie to it, I guess, to start with, before we even saw the problems.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw the problems, then we had legitimate reasons to concern,
Yeah,
funny.
I think they just didn't take not time to kind of figure out what exactly they wanted to do in the Mass Effect universe. Because out of a Mass Effect game, we're expecting some huge, not even a trilogy, just a big universe with a deep story that is important. And
having played the game, I think that they were on that thought process, but I think what happened with them is they got overly ambitious and then ended up having to scrap things out of it because they weren't going to be able to have it done by the deadline. And the deadline is like basically being overly ambitious and not understanding how to temper that, coupled with an impending deadline. They just couldn't handle
They just
their
rushed
shit.
it.
Yeah, they just ran to the finish line not knowing what they were doing.
Well, I know an article we read after it came out was that their original plan for it was to develop these worlds so well, and it got basically they're like, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing so well. Oh my god, we have a month before we have to release. Well, shit.
It's like watching all of those cooking shows, like the competitions, like Chopped and all of that stuff, where the timer's ticking down. They're like, oh god, gotta get everything on the plate. Oh no, this may not be great. Let's just put it on there though. We gotta put it on there. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
A lot of times they taste better though than that thing ended up at. Though.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. But at least they have a clue of how what they were putting on the plate.
Those people had a clue and they had a good idea, but they didn't have anybody that was standing there going, okay, this is really great, but you should probably expect this and this to be DLC, and you're going to have to cut this short because you're not going to have time to do it. They didn't have anybody standing there. They were all yes men. They're like, this sounds fabulous. Let's do all of this right now. And I know how that feels because I've done that myself.
Okay, they've had 5 years since the end of Mass Effect 3. They probably afterwards, give it a year or two. They had 3 full years to kind of get their shit down and start working on it. And they spent 4 years working on a planet, and was like, oh shit, we better.
The bubblegum people. That's what took so long.
Yeah, I mean they had time. They had time. They did not use it right.
Yes, they did not use it properly. They spent too much time focusing on small details and not enough time pulling all of the big stuff together.
Yep.
Again, it sounds just like all the cooking shows. I watch too much cooking shows. Too many cooking shows. Clearly.
They only have themselves to blame.
Yes, but eventually we might come back to Mass Effect one day.
Hopefully. Would be nice to go back into that universe.
If you have a classic game, and in the classic game you're used to a character model that looks a certain way.
I already know what we're talking about.
If it looks a certain way, do you want the new sequel to that game to look like the old one did because you're used to that character model, or do you want the modern technology we now have to change that character model slightly to make it look more realistic and more modern?
I think, and this is what I got from watching the video of it, because I know what we're talking about. If you are going to make your world, your environment, your set pieces, high def, super good looking, realistic, this, that, and the other, all of the lighting particles are realistic, and your characters look like you pulled them straight from the game that you made 10, 15 years ago, then yeah, you should reevaluate what you're doing, because that's not an art direction, that's being lazy.
Okay.
Resident Evil 7, right there. That is a great comparison. Chris. I mean, they completely changed his design because they're changing they're changing the art direction in the Resident Evil world. And if they're going to change him, then they're going to start changing everybody else in that world. So
changing the art direction and changing your character the way that he already looks is totally different.
He looks better in this universe.
In a realistic setting.
I'm sorry. Muscle-bound Chris was just like, he got a little out of hand. I mean, the original Resident Evil Chris was pretty good. Like, he looked like an officer.
He worked out a lot between the first Resident Evil and 5.
Okay, there's a lot.
What did he do? Just like,
and then there's like
Resident Evil, just like do nothing but pump iron.
Apparently,
he wasn't that big. He was not.
Yes,
he
was.
Not, like,
bodybuilder
big.
His arms were like that big. Like, I am talking. This
like
guy was
like typical
tank
cartoon buff dude.
He got rather, seriously buff. They toned him down and put it they toned him back to original.
His face a lot, and I think that's where I have problems, because at first, Monkey Face Chris was a little jarring when we started 5, and then he grew on me, and I loved him, and now this is some dude that has his name that doesn't look anything like him, and I don't like it.
I think it's a little bit better of a direction to go, because they want to go back to where they started, so this one kind of goes back. If he would have aged...
Okay, but we haven't said what we're actually talking about yet.
Okay.
Which is Shenmue 3. Okay?
I'm just calling you out on this one.
Have you seen did you watch the video for that one?
No,
because
but I could look at the picture.
I think this is a bit different than what you were talking about.
But I can see the picture of it.
I'll tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of The Last Guardian, to where you had all this nice scenery and you had a cartoon character as your main character that you were playing. It looked really out of place. And that's what I feel they're doing with Shenmue 3. Is I think they're trying to be true to what they originally created, but their technology wouldn't allow them to do the backgrounds that they currently have going on.
It just looks so out of place.
It's very blocky looking.
Well, it's visually jarring to see this nice, very pretty environmental aesthetic, and then a PS2 rendered dude. You're like, what happened to your face?
PS3, yeah.
What happened to your face?
All just wearing goopy ass masks.
Maybe.
Also, his eyes. He has dead eyes. You want to get at Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect Andromeda for their shitty facial stuff? Well, here we go. Get ready to have that whole conversation again, because it's here, too. Okay?
All the comments down here are saying, "Oh, it's fine. It looks fine to me.
You
it's
people
an art
are
direction.
delusional.
It doesn't look
if the rest of the world looked like it was going on like a PlayStation 2, that probably would be fine. But
it just doesn't...
I don't know. The dead action figure eyes just don't do it for me.
Well, and then if you watch the fight scenes, they look horrid.
Yeah.
They look just bad. I mean, it looks...
Yeah. It's stilted and blocky, and they look like dolls that have been brought into the world and somebody has animated them. It doesn't look like people, and it doesn't look like honestly, there's no way I could play that game and attach to those characters, because I could not get over their wooden stairs.
Yeah.
Maybe if you add little puppet strings onto them.
And then I laugh the whole way. Yeah, that sounds good.
They do look kind of marionette-like, so it's a possibility.
So, I don't like it, and I don't think that that's art direction. I think that that's resurrecting previous models and trying to brush them up for current use. It's you guys need to go back and completely remodel in the new technology. You don't need to try to bring back the dolls that you were playing with 10 years ago and, say, oh, look, they're fine.
But these action figures are vintage.
They have the technology now. They can do it.
They can rebuild them.
You can upgrade them. You can do it.
Yeah, I saw that article, and I was like, I'm not even interested in Shenmue at this point, but I need to know what this looks like. I watched the video, and I was like, dear God, that's awful. Scroll down to the comments, and everybody's like, yeah, this is fine. I don't see a problem. What the fuck are you guys watching? If this was any other game, the comment section would be entirely negative. It would be basically you could just go and look at early Andromeda articles, and it would be their comment section. Their faces look dead. Their faces don't have any emotion. They look like plastic. Okay, let's just apply that here. Instead of plastic, maybe let's go with wood.
Well, but the difference is, this is where their argument's going to say. They're going to say, yes, but the crew decided that this is the art direction they wanted to go versus
but nobody wanted
somebody
Mass
not
Effect
doing
1
their job.
Yeah, pretty
graphics.
much.
So,
well, I mean, it could also be argued that someone decided they didn't want to do their job either, and they went, you know what, fuck it, we'll just call it an art direction.
yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. Somebody said, okay, I really don't have time to put into this, or I don't care. Let's just call it our art direction.
The land that everything they show in the background is gorgeous. Every bit of it.
And then
you
see
the people
on top of it, and you're like,
I'm definitely gonna watch this when we're done if it's that bad.
I can't believe you didn't watch it already.
I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
This is Shenmue Odyssey. That's what this is. This is where they've taken Mario and you've put him into a real world environment. That's what they've done with this right here.
Looks creepy.
It's just awful.
Hey, at least they left Mario, you got real people in Odyssey, a standard person, and then you got this short little plumber guy who's just completely out of place. I mean, at least they didn't extend them.
The people and things and taking them over, and
Being
Mario's
weird about
dead
it.
and possessing things.
Nintendo already issued a statement. No, they're not possessing anything. It's just the way the hat works, and they actually
special
did.
magic hat. It's a special magic hat.
Yes.
It's not possession at all.
No,
So Mario found new mushrooms. Got it.
Yes, actually, yes.
He found the good guy.
Yeah.
Microsoft company Rare has actually confirmed that Sea of Thieves is going to be cross-platform play for PC and Xbox One. I don't really have an issue with this one, because you're killing in-game skeletons. I think most of the time there is a PvP element too, but they're saying that PC gamers were 4.5% more effective killing skeletons.
4.5%. Woo.
Oh, so nothing.
Than Xbox players, and they feel that that's close enough that it's something they'll continue to monitor. But I mean, if you're within that element, and maybe they need to contact whoever it was that was looking at the platform playing that we were talking about earlier, but for PUBg, right?
Yep.
Maybe PUBg can contact him. How are you getting it that close? Because we're gonna have to, since they're gonna be exclusive to Xbox anyway.
So that means I can play it on PC. And this top comment says, at this point, I'd be more surprised if a Microsoft and PC game wasn't cross-platform. I mean, Microsoft's doing it right. They're bringing everything to both sides of the field and double dipping in everything they can now. So it's like
they're doing it right. I think it's funny because I've got a person that I know that is an avid Sony person, and they're like, I don't get this. I don't understand. Why everybody wants an Xbox One or because Xbox One X is the fastest selling Xbox ever.
Yeah,
so
it's sold out in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm. And so it was it's the fastest. It's I don't understand why they want it, and it's because they have options for games that they want to play, but a lot of people like playing on console because they can sit on their couch and they can play without having to do something to make that happen from a PC to whatever. In this way, you have an actual inside, and you can do it. It's portable. You can take it wherever you wanted to, I guess. But
I wouldn't recommend it. But
yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either.
I wouldn't either. But Xbox One X, is selling quickly, and you're going to have these exclusives if they come out. And I really think Sea of Thieves is going to end up being a fun ass game.
Oh hell yeah!
It just looks humorous, and it's the counter to Ubisoft's pirate game. It's
like the serious pirate game or the funny pirate game. You choose.
Yeah.
I mean, that was gonna be kind of fun.
Just
get some friends together. Doesn't matter. You're on PC, Xbox, whatever. Get a ship and go out and fucking have a little fun.
Plunder.
Exactly. Plunder and beat up other people's ship. I mean, come on. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Not a serious kind of game like Skull and Bones is gonna be.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting, and I like the idea that. If I wanted to play on my Xbox, I could play on my Xbox. If I wanted to play on my PC, I could play on my PC. And because of the way that their system is set up, I can get it for both, and it only have to pay one time, and I'm good to go. So that's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
So
Microsoft is doing it right. Linking their things together.
Oh yeah, definitely awesome. I think that does everything for the news today. I don't think there's any extras. Anything else anybody else wants to talk about?
No, that's about it.
We're
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Cool beans. I was trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I was watching some people play Within Evil, and I really
Evil Within.
Evil Within. Sorry.
Within Evil.
Okay.
Evil Within, and I forgot how good like that game was. Like I couldn't play the game because of the way that the controls and stuff are set up. But I like the plot line on that game. So it was fun to watch, and so the second game that should be fun when it comes out. Are you gonna get it, Chicken?
Only if I finish Evil Within the first one.
You still haven't finished it yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I restarted it, and then I got sidetracked because I restarted it right before I played Prey, and after Prey, everything's been like I've been
Uncharted,
busy.
and then Uncharted took over your
Prey,
life.
It was Mass Effect. It was Uncharted. I just I'm playing games with my sister.
You got Final
all that
Fantasy
stuff.
15. You got Resident Evil 7. You got a big old list. You may be done before Christmas.
Don't start overwhelming me here. And games will be coming out between now and then as well. So
you might be done before Christmas.
Should be fun. All right. And I just happened to think of that because I've been watching people play it and thought it was pretty awesome. So I was wondering if y'all were doing anything on it. But anyway, I think that does it for the week. We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. Check me out personally at MDBOaktree. Check out Grif.
at Grif's Lineup.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure that you go to our website, infiniterespawn.com. Go on there and join the forums and hang out. Don't forget about our YouTube channel as well. If you're listening to the audio version of this, you can see the video version of the podcast, as well as some Let's Plays, some videos that Grif has done, and some other things. So, those are secret. Other things.
That got weird.
Other things. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.